Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be rather laid back and casual. I hope you enjoy it. I am going to show you how to write every letter in the English alphabet in cursive. It's also known as script or longhand. Cursive writing is a style of penmanship in which most letters within words are connected together. In the 21st century, cursive writing is a dying art. Learning how to read and write in cursive is more of an exception than a rule because learning to type is more efficient and practical. However, in America especially, we still use official documents that require a cursive signature as a personal legal endorsement. So, learning cursive writing, it still has its uses. So, let's jump right into it, starting at the top with the letter A. In lowercase, looks completely different. And sometimes you might see a lowercase a written with that little hook on the top. So a capital A looks very much like an egg that's leaning over on its side with a little kickstand tail. And the lowercase a looks just like the capital A, just smaller. Like that. And to connect the cursive A's, you go like this. And that's A for apple. That's supposed to be an apple. The letter B makes me realize I need to make some room for my doodles to make this fun. Hold on just a second. And let me give myself this much room. For a capital B, we start with the back and then make sure it has that little tail so that it can connect to other letters. And lowercase b doesn't look anything like its bigger brother, but it's a loop that goes up to the top, back down, swings back up to the middle, and then out. And that is the lowercase b. And connected, we have B, 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 B. The letter C. Moving on. If you notice these, the cursive versions of the print letters have more of a slant, traditionally in a toward the right direction, though I have seen lots of people write with a left slant. But, it's the great thing about handwriting is it gives you a chance to express your individuality in your writing, which is something that you really can't do with typing. So a capital cursive C, it's just like that with a little curly Q thing at the top. And the lowercase c is almost like its big brother. I don't put the curly Q, I make a little tick mark in the front of a lowercase. That's just my own individual touch. And a string of connected C's look like ocean waves almost. C for cat. You would never believe that I'm an artist. And moving on to D. its print form, the capital D looks nothing like the lowercase d, and the pattern follows in the cursive versions. Well, I'm going to start with the back stem and loop it that way. Not everybody starts the capital D this way. I've seen it done this way as well. Just a matter of personal preference. The lowercase d looks very much like the print lowercase d, only slanted. And here it is connected. There. D. For a dog. The capital E it doesn't have the straight sticks and angles like the print version does. It starts with a little loop-de-loop, goes out, and basically it makes like a backward 3. And the lowercase e is a simple loop. E for I. F, very similar to the E, it's just missing that third little stem at the bottom. Lowercase f. Notice where the crossbar crosses, right in the middle of the two ledger lines. Now the capital F in cursive is a little crazy looking. It looks like a J almost with that crossbar. The lowercase f looks very much like the lowercase b, only this tail part, this part right here, drops below the bottom line, and that's an important distinction. Here's the lowercase cursive b and the lowercase cursive f. See the difference? F. You'll probably notice in this little demonstration that I don't have the best of penmanship, but at least I'm legible. And that's supposed to be a fly. G. The capital G looks nothing like its printed version. You got your loop that goes up. It makes like a wave that dips back down toward that back wall and then swings back out again. That's the capital G. And the lowercase g is like that. G. I'm just making up these doodles on the fly, guys. I really didn't put a whole lot of planning into this video. Capital H. And I'm not even going to change my chalk color. There's the H. And lucky for us, the cursive version looks very similar to the print version. And H is one of those cases where it's not just one continuous line, it's two lines, two parts. And the lowercase cursive H is like that. H, house with a chimney. I looks like this, capitalized. That's the capital I, and the lowercase I looks like that. I for ice cream. J, the capital J looks very, very similar to the lowercase g, and that's the lowercase g, but notice where the placement of the loops go. For the capital J, that loop, this loop here has to reach all the way to that top bar. And the lowercase j looks like that. And connected. A bunch of J's. I need to clear out more space on my board to draw my dog Jack. K and capital K, again made of two parts. The lowercase cursive K is one line. And the important distinction is this loop goes all the way to the top, and when it goes back down and you come back up to finish this little loop here, you've got to hit the midline. Otherwise it'll look like another letter that we'll get to in just a bit. Okay. And the faster I write, the less they look like K's. L. And the lowercase print L is just a stick. Luckily, the cursive version of this letter is a lot more fancy. There's the capital L and the lowercase l. L for lemon. M, there's a capital print M and the lowercase m, which is almost like the capital M, but hits the midline of the ledgers and there are loops instead of these spikes. The cursive M is all the soft loops, no spikes. And for some reason, when you make this second little hill on the capital cursive M, it has to be slightly lower than this hill right here. I don't know why. And that's just the way it was traditionally taught. And the lowercase m looks like that. Some people drag this first loop right here. They start it from the bottom, so it goes like that, which means that that lowercase cursive m would have 3 little hoops instead of 2 like the print version. M. Then we have N. Very similar to the M, but 1 hill instead of 2. The capital cursive N. And the lowercase cursive n. Like that, or you can start the stroke from the bottom ledger line. So it looks like that. And connected, these are N's. It's very easy to get them confused with M's. So I guess just take this letter into context. The letter O, there's the capital print. Lowercase, it's just a circle, but of course when you make it cursive it has to be slightly more complicated, so it gets a loop. Or you can start the loop from the back and go like that. In the lowercase o, just like the capital cursive O, just smaller. In this loop part right here is what connects it to other letters. Oh, I haven't made my sketches in a while. Let me knock one out real fast right here. There we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Now we have P. pretty straightforward. The Cursive P, you slant, start with a little thing there, slant the back wall, and you can come back and make that loop right there. Or since I prefer to do it in one stroke, I go like this when I make my uppercase P's. And the lowercase p, it's like that. And remember, you have to bring that stem of the lowercase p, it's gotta go below this ledger line, the lower ledger line there, and connect it. It would look like this. And I didn't make my loops very pretty or even, but that's because I have really bad handwriting. And that is supposed to be a penguin. Let's move on. Q. You've got the letter O with a kickstand. And the lowercase print Q. It's a backward P with a kick. Or if you don't want to make that little sharp kick there, you can go soft if you want. It's very similar to the G, but the stem goes the other way. The cursive capital Q, it looks nothing like the print version for some reason. I don't know why. It looks like a number 2, just a giant number 2 that goes the full length of the upper and lower ledger line. And the lowercase q goes like that. It looks very similar to the lowercase cursive G, which is like that. But notice which direction that lower loop went. It went from the left toward the right, and the lowercase cursive q goes from the right back to the left before kicking out. Q. Q for queen. Yes, queen. This is supposed to be a scepter. This thing right here is a scepter, not a microphone. All right, the letter R. Like that. Lowercase looks nothing like uppercase. That's R. In the cursive version, you can have a 2-piece construction for the uppercase cursive R, or you can do it in one piece like I like to do, like this. Up, down, around, through. And the lowercase r is a upward rise until you get to that middle ledger line, and then there's like a tiny little kick there. Then you slowly, gently slope down before making a drop, and then there's that kick, and that's the lowercase cursive R. For rug, S, uppercase print. Lowercase looks just like uppercase, but smaller. Now it gets tricky. The cursive capital S looks like this. Almost like a treble clef symbol. Almost like a capital letter G, which was like this. But instead of this little bump that the capital G has, the S just goes up and continues smoothly down and goes across like that. And the lowercase s looks like almost like a triangle. S for snake. T, uppercase print. Lowercase. Sometimes I've seen the lowercase printed ones with a little turn at the bottom there. The uppercase cursive T goes like that. Very similar to the F, but the F has that crossbar. The uppercase cursive T does not. And this is the lowercase t. Connected. And there it is by itself. Notice how I brought this little part here up past the middle line tall enough so that when I made the crossbar, the crossbars would go right where that middle part is. T for Tic Tacs. And that's all you get for the letter T. U. There's uppercase, and lowercase is very similar to the uppercase, but it has a stick to hold it up. Uppercase Cursive U starts with a little loop down, comes back up, and it has a kick. The lowercase Cursive U starts down here at the bottom, comes up before it even begins making the form of that letter. Then you make the U, and then you come back down and continue the kick. So a bunch of U's connected. Looks like this. V. Upper and lowercase printed V's are identical except for the size. For the uppercase cursive V, you start with that little curly Q like you did for the U. You come down, and when you make the bottom, you come back up. There's no sharp bend, there's a soft bend. And you finish the curve up at the top, unlike the capital U. The capital U, we went like this. Up, and then there was a kick down at the bottom. This is how we know a V from a U, because when you make the V, there's not that little side kick on the right. So that's a V. And the lowercase v is like this. Almost like the U. See, here's a lowercase u. And the lowercase v is very, very close, but that first little section there doesn't get connected to the actual letter. And the lowercase cursive v, the little flare out that happens up where the midline is, unlike the lowercase cursive u, where that little flick happens here at the bottom. So if I were to connect a bunch of V's, oh boy, here we go, let's see. So you can see how no one ever connects V's like that. Don't worry about it. It's not going to happen to you. But it does look, it's easily confused with other letters. Taken out of context, it's difficult to tell what on earth you're trying to write unless you've got the whole rest of the word around those letters so that you understand, oh, okay, those are supposed to be V's and not R's or any other letter. W, just like that. Lowercase w, you can have the same spikes, just make the letter smaller, or you can go with the rounded bottom peaks, like I like to do. And the cursive capital W starts with a little curly Q, goes down on a slant, comes back up like that. Very similar to the print version. The lowercase cursive w starts down here, comes up to this point before it starts making the letter. Now you make the letter. doot, doot, and you finish the tail of the letter off on the midpoint there, where the middle of the ledgers is. So it's W. And connected. Looks like this. W. For window, the letter X. There's your capital print, your lowercase x. In the cursive version, again, we start off with a little curly Q. We come down to the right, give it a little kick, and then make that other crossbar. For the lowercase cursive X, we start down here at the bottom of the ledger, come up to the middle of the ledger line, back down, make a kick, and then make the crossbar. X. Let's see what they look like connected. Bunch of X's. And I'm trying to make a xylophone. And here's the little sticks you hit the xylophone with. The letter Y. There's a capital Y, lowercase y. You've got that little right-hand portion that goes below the bottom ledger. Or you can make your lowercase y look like this. The cursive capital version of the letter Y starts with a curly Q, and it takes up this whole space between the ledgers before it drops down below the bottom ledger line to make a tail. And the lowercase y starts here at the bottom ledger line, comes up to the middle, then makes the rest of the letter. Oh wait, he needs a beard. There. Yak. And then we have our final letter, Z. Capital Z, lowercase z. I went to school part of my youth in Europe, so I learned to put crosses on all of my Z's so that they are not to be confused with 2's, especially in algebra where you have lots of 2's and Z's cropping up all over the place. You don't have to put those crossbars there if you don't want to. The capital letter cursive Z is kind of a funny creature. You start with a curly Q, go all the way down to that bottom ledger line, and then it does one of those things. And that's a capital cursive Z. The lowercase z looks like this. And then connected. Z. Zebra. Tonight's episode of Cursive Writing with Soul Repose ASMR was brought to you by the letters A through Z and by the number 26. Goodbye.